2 AD carries, and 4 solo laners banned away. Or in Soraka, Mord, all the above. And Pantheon gets to come through as TL wants to grab set, challenges the option, and instant Pantheon.
Instant set sit-ups on stage as well. I'm not sure if we've done that before in the LCS broadcast, but it was a nice touch.
Good.
First time, I'm just told.
All right, good to know.
Good stuff.
Good to know.
We got every stat ready here.
Thank you. That's beautiful stuff. So now we get to see the second round of bans coming through. Dignitas dropping away some mid laners. Pantheon, I think, is very flexible. We've seen
Triple
him.
Flex.
Yep, top, jungle, and mid, and all 3 of those roles are open. So if TL hard bans one of those roles, you can easily see Pantheon just fill that one and feel comfortable regardless. Really worth reiterating, every single jungler finally at least ban comes through, but otherwise every jungler is available.
Yeah, I mean, looking at what has been locked so far for Dig, Pantheon is not a particularly great late game champ. I kind of thought coming into this game that it was going to be a slow one, that it was going to be fairly low kills. I mean, Team Liquid has the lowest combined kills per minute in the league, and that's one of the reasons for a lot of their losses. But they're also with strong laning mechanics. Like, if they just want to generate wins, not necessarily think about much else, just pick better late game than the other team.
Yeah.
And with Pantheon already locked in, we'll see what ends up having to lane against it, because Team Liquid essentially has to kind of blind both lanes, or at least know that one of them might have to lane into Pantheon. But based off of this, like, give me a late game jungler and a late game mid laner for Team Liquid, and I think that would be their best draft.
That could look really good for them. We'll see. I looked up some of the early laning stats as well for TL, comparing it to last year's summer split to this year so far. Doublelift's laning phase, pretty similar. A bit less gold difference, but he's still top 3 across the LCS.
Okay.
Jensen was actually a negative gold difference player last split, and he's positive this year.
Yeah, I've been thinking that Jensen has actually been playing really well.
Right. And so for a lot of the key carry members, their early games are still fine. You actually look back at last year's Smithy, he was actually negative gold difference jungler as well. Now, he was doing better than Shuren and Broxa are so far this year. I give them the pass a little bit for now, but Liquid wasn't like smashing all the lanes. They were just doing fine in the early game and then had really good late game. This time around, TL, of course, at 3 and 6 aren't finding that late game position, so I kind of see your point about, hey, draft some better team fighting.
Yeah.
Get yourself set up for the end game.
Sejuani?
Yeah, I think
Braum Sejuani against the melee dive of Pantheon Jarvan.
I think it could look pretty good as the dive is there, and we wait to see which lane the Pantheon really goes into. Worth pointing out, Dignitas are magic damage light. Makes me think that Pantheon is going top lane for Huni. I don't know what Pant set looks like normally, but they're going to go Lee Sin here. So Broxa finally doubling up on a champion. His second Lee Sin game now of his Team Liquid career.
Yeah.
And he's going to hope that his early game is better than what he's been right now, which is worst in the league.
It is Broxa Lee Sin for sure. It's his best historical champion. Also think there's a good reason to have a Sejuani for team comp reasons, but this is more about trying to keep up with early game Jarvan, with whatever type of early game power comes out from Pantheon. But it's gonna be dicey. Like, the CC lock from a top lane Pantheon on a Lee Sin can be fatal. So it's gonna be difficult, I feel like, for Team Liquid to generate fights and engages, whereas Dignitas has Panth, Jarvan, Varus to go with. So also wanted to point out the Frog and Victor. It's because of an Orianna ban.
Yeah.
But he has 5 Orianna games, and I have this own like crusade to say I like Froggen's Victor more because all their games go late and it's more reliable late game damage. So good backup plan, Froggen. I like the Victor.
Good backup plan for the Victor. You can see Dignitas go up to 6 wins. If they can take this one home, that'll look really good for them. They'll only be 1 game behind second place, which is FlyQuest. Of course, a lot of ground to make up against Cloud9. That's maybe not happening in the regular season, but you can certainly fight for standings now. Top 2 is nice. Top 4 gets you into the upper bracket in the spring playoffs, and that's a good start. Dignitas in striking distance of that. Team Liquid on the outside of playoffs right now. They do need to shape up. It's the second half of the split. They've got 9 games to play. Every team wants. They got to make up at least 2 games off the rest of the pack to get in there.
And I can still foresee it happening if they pull things together. I chatted with Broxa really quickly before this game, and he's like, it obviously sucks to get thrown in this late into the split, but he's also like, I've had bad starts to the splits before. Literally just look at Fnatic last year when we started 1 and 5, and we were able to improve from there. So none of these players on Team Liquid lack having bad starts in their past, so all of them have pulled out of those bad starts.
Yep.
And this might not be the game where they do it, but I'm interested to find out.
Let's find out right now. We're on to the Rift. Team Liquid fans, maybe never say never. These players should have the skills to get up there. Dignitas, though, have been a very pleasant spring split team so far, a winning record. And they could end this week 6-4, tied for third. After playing Liquid the second time, as Huni is spotted out, but there's not a lot of crowd control on those champions, so they can still walk away.
That was really close to actually being able to tag him with the Q over the wall, but no one had warded the tri-brush, so they didn't actually know Huni was in range to get hit by that Braum Q. Not much doing there, but that does mean Dig will be able to scout the red side jungle of TL. Something that has actually been working to Brox's detriment, and it looks like it's going to happen again this game, is it really does feel like all of his early games have just been on top of wards. Whether it's TL not blocking for him properly in the early game, or whether his jungle paths are getting scouted, doesn't really matter. It just matters that he's constantly seen. So it's one of the reasons his ganks haven't been working.
Yeah, as I mentioned in the champ select, he's got some of the very, very worst early game jungle stats in the league. 7 out of 3 games, the first 2 were jet lag. Like, he gets part of the pass, but his gold difference is he's got 0 first bloods across his game so far. Like, it has not been a quick start for him. And a lot of the reason TL picked him up was, hey, you know, we want more aggression in the early game. We want more dominance. We want this to happen. And now that Brock's into his second week of the career, I want to start seeing that out of him.
And everyone's going to have their own opinion on how much leash they're going to give Team Liquid in terms of success or failure. But I do think people are generally underestimating the difference between second week with the jungler versus second week with the jungler when everyone else is on week 6. The fact that if he would have been here at the start of the split, every team would have been coming together and building synergy. But Team Liquid is already behind the pace of that already. It's just made it additionally hard, but they're going for another gank on him.
Into the top side, 122 damage, ward hops in, nice stun for Huni.
Try and flash the Q.
Yep, and he does so. I think Broxa, level 2, of course, didn't have the E for the slow, so it was just the Q versus the reflex play, and that is Huni able to dodge away.
So, now that Huni is flashless, trying to play aggressive on Pantheon is going to be extra risky.
Grig finishes his first 4 camps top side, and as you can see, running towards top tri-brush up from the top river as well. Doesn't have a spare ward to put down to help his teammate, and knows that Lee Sin isn't around. But yeah, Brox is on Gromp, right? He could do Wolves and still end up top side, so Lee Sin is always only 10 seconds away.
Yeah.
May see more action, and actually now with the Scry's Bloom popped, as these two trade, the junglers know where each other are. Grig was directly revealed, and the Scry's Bloom himself gave away where Broxa was.
And Grig loses out probably both scuttles here, because Jensen was pushed up in the mid lane, so Broxa can take that, but the fact that they both met top lane means Broxa can very easily go scuttle to scuttle as Grig tries to clear Krugs. First scuttle actually doesn't have a massive amount of experience, so it's not this gargantuan lead, but it is a nice thing to be able to do as a jungler.
And right now, Huni needs help pushing out top lane. They don't know if Brox's carrying that brush or not, and so Huni is unwilling to fight for the wave until Grig is there. This kind of tells Impact that Grig has passed back to top side. Well, in a lot of cases.
It is Huni, right?
True.
I'd say other top laners would only do this with their jungler.
Well, he's there.
Yeah, and Impact has to flash the flag, but weirdly enough, Huni's a guy who will just push in the wave if it's in a bad position, whether or not a jungler's there.
Yeah. But Huni was
weird.
Also AFKing the wave for the last 35 seconds while, like Grig went to Krugs and Huni's sitting there in that brush, like waiting for a jungler. 30 seconds later, he's like, thank you for finishing the half the Krug camp. Can we shove the wave in now?
Yeah.
They get a flash out of it, so I can't hate too much.
It's worse, both flashless.
Yeah. All right, so that came out there. You got kind of the half camp lead for Broxa as Grig wasn't able to finish the rest of Krugs. Huni needed him. I'm just not sure. Like, I really want to, at some point, spend time thinking about that interaction. And, like, should Grig have just shoved in the wave the first time? Right. Or was Broxa being top river making that too scary, where the 2-on-2 is bad? And you have to give up, like, a wave and wait till he leaves and pass somewhere else and then shove it in.
I think early game Lee set is just too scary if you're a flashless Pantheon. That's my guess.
Sure.
It's also putting Grig in this situation where we talked during Grig's first game this week, actually, about how, like, there is these two different versions of Grig. There's the one where he is kind of a slave to his lanes and not doing his own thing versus the one where Grig is able to go around and make aggressive calls. And like the top lane situation with him burning his early flash and making sure he stays top side, like it makes it so Grig can't do anything. He needs to be up there for the later protection of Pantheon, and both Scuttle Crabs just go over to Lee Sin. So at least at the start, it is advantage Broxa in what he's been able to do on the map.
Well, a couple resets come through. We had to burn his flash first, which means Impact's flash comes in later, so we might see aggression top lane a little bit down the line. Top lane farmer's caught up after Huni recalls and comes back in, but it's going to slow push back toward Impact here. Overall farm lead is with the set. You can see a 300 gold lead on TL overall, some of that mid lane. Otherwise, a little bit in top with the rest of this wave waiting to be farmed as everything is pushed down, and Huni's going to feel comfortable at level 6. Might see him roam soon.
Yeah. Could see an alt bot lane since his teleport is also available.
I think Grid should stop. Okay, thank you. He Qs 3 of them. Auto the last one? Okay, fine. If you're going to recall anyway, just attack it once. I mean, really, right? It's 9 gold.
There's been so much gold moved into the mini and medium Krugs that if you're going to do Krugs, you kind of want to stick around there. Good ward by Huni. Again, Broxy just spotted out.
Yep. Very standard top lane ward. If you can ever get the push in and you're able to get down to the river, go ward Gromp, try to track the jungler. Smart by Brox. You can see he walks into top lane Travis before recalling. He says, okay, you saw me path topside. I probably recall here, but maybe I walk around to something else silly. Maybe I go for a lane gank. You never know for sure. It takes him a second, but it creates a little bit of uncertainty on the opposing side.
Could see Johnson there actually needed to teleport back to lane for the tempo. Doublelift had already been able to get off a good BF sword recall and had made it back in lane, so we'll have no teleport for a Rift Herald swap play. That's always the small victory you're going for if you're not taking a teleport bot laner, is to try and get that teleport out before the objective fights happen.
The small benefit of MF as well, 63 movement speed out of combat, more or less, with your W. And now as they look, ooh, that is Broxa seeing Grig. Equal level in these players, but Jensen's come out of mid lane first and can threaten with that bubble to find some kind of a play.
Big fight.
Definitely could be. The recalls are already in. Jensen pushed back. 1,500 health on this Drake. It's now hitting Broxa, switching back over. Smite fight gonna come in pretty soon, maybe. Johnson is slowed. TP's coming in. They found the root, though. Bullet time over the top, and a first kill comes in. This fight in as well. Look at the fight for Dignitas. 2 for 0. The dunk of the backline is very big, but coordinated drops as well. Finally, a kill on the board for Set, and it splashes out for Dignitas. Nice knock of it for Greg. Jensen finds one. Flash to safety. Now Afmu's in danger. Has to put up the shield, but Double is so easily gonna kill his ex-lane mate. There's no way out for that one. And his team Liquid now picking up 3 kills on the back half. Lose the Drake, but grab an extra kill.
So many flashes for the Zoe at the end of that fight, but yeah, we knew it was going to be a big fight. The thing to point out is the Smite Steal did go over to Greg, so that is Cloud Drake for them, and they got a kill onto Broxus, so he's going to be waiting until level 6. But the eventual fight went to Team Liquid. Watching this one more time, both junglers end up getting put in a bind because they kind of need to take this Drake. Stronger focus by Dig to actually kill Broxa at the start, but then you're dealing with a level 7 Set who gets a big ultimate off as his Conqueror proc. So Impact is the one who ends up kind of carrying that fight for TL, even though the steal does come through for the Dignitas squad. And then once it's split up, it's just easy kill for Doublelift on the top and some flash funness on the bottom.
Yeah, pretty fun. They actually got the chase down, because I think it was started with 2 kills for Dig, and then the other ones came through. So TL cleaned those kills up in a 3v5. Nicely done by them to chase down. Froggen, wow, not the best record. Spent a lot of time in bad teams. Now the team fight comes in again. Great rumble. After move very, very low. Flash to safety. Here comes Panther over the top. Gets some backline access. Doublelift does go down, but already a double kill for Jensen. The chase down Grig is gonna drop, and Team Liquid get a 3-for-1 team fight.
Yeah, a couple donations there by Dignitas when you're Pantheon ulting into one of those basically lost fights. Huni actually ends up getting a 1-for-1, but far more kills coming through for TL. I'll have to see what the map state was when Dig started that Herald. Like, yes, they were able to get it, but they were not in position for the fight. And
Gravity Field stops him mid-Q. That could have been a kill for Brox, I think.
Oh, man.
If you waited on the Q, that was maybe an execution, but now Huni wants in. Empowered Qs in 1 second. Bam! Bunch of damage. Ease forward. Kick back, but Froggen's almost in range.
Think they can
He has this snipe! Ooh, gets a bit of damage. Jensen just gets away.
Whew.
Yeah.
Big bounty on Jensen as well. He's starting to get a few of those Zoe kills. It's going to make it really difficult for Froggen to lane against it at this point. But Dig is pushing the tempo. I mean, Huni on Pantheon is making stuff happen.
Impact, full HP under a turret.
Really
on
hard
a
to dive a set.
Well, he's going to try, though. Q, auto. Knockup not going to found for Greg. But here comes 4 members as Varus pushes in the wave. Afro can pull back whoever pulls aggro first.
He's got W and R.
Be smart about turret aggro. They warm up the turret for him. He ults in the back line, gets a bit of safety. Greg cannot get eaten. He's going after Zhonya's that one. Huni's going to go down as well. Dignitas botch the dive horribly, as now Afro is forced to run away, but he's slowed a little bit. Will Impact find the rest that they need? Shield comes in, Afro has the gray health, goes for the stun, big damage coming in. When will he pull this? Has to do it now, might be on cooldown. Here comes the second cube, goes in for the punch, and Afro won't quite die, he stopwatches. There's no skill shots left available, but Dignitas just give away a 1 for 0 and lose 2 stopwatches.
I thought Broxah was going to die on that, but if you look at the overall tempo of the map now, it's hugely in favor of Team Liquid. Yes, it was a botched dive, but Impact played that about as immaculately as he could have, utilizing his R and W, never wasting his W until it was going to give him a large amount of shield and damage. That whole time, Freak, Doublelift was pushing bot. So not only did Impact get further and further ahead of Huni, who, by the way, is at 44 CS, 11.5 minutes into the game, it also meant Doublelift got an XP boost. So this is one of the best early games TL has had all year based on results. Watching it again, it's just super, super hard to dive a set. Like, unless they can actually CC block him.
Just wait. Don't pull turret aggro. Wait till the wave is pushed in.
Yep.
Greg go for the turret.
Afro take the turret.
Now the turret's warm, by the way, so it does 25% more damage. And so Greg has a stopwatch.
Yeah.
And Huni's already low.
And no one can chase through, because no one actually has the damage to kill him, right? They're running a Cinder Hulk Jarvan with a Phage Pantheon, a Tom Kench, and an Unblade of the Ruin King Varus. That is actually not enough damage to kill a set, weirdly enough.
Nope. At least not when the turret's helping that much. So, Herald is summoned topside. That is one thing that Dignitas got, and they will be able to knock down this turret as a result. Gold is shared across everyone. Greg stayed within the extended radius of gold, and the support, of course, in melee range there as well. You see Teal getting pretty close down to the side. That turret's going to drop before too terribly long, and that's without Herald, because, again, we talked about what happened earlier, where Double didn't have to join the squad, but Dignitas are still pushing. You don't always get to see the second turret attempt, and this is going to be maybe a decent dive. Q's going to land, pulled back in. Huni's going to feel fairly safe. Dropped up to drop turret aggro, and with the new wave, they will get a second turret, so positive stuff for Dignitas. Gets 2 turrets on the board.
Yeah, first turret bonus, as well as a 2-for-1 on those turrets. Feels pretty good temporarily, but again, that gold is spread pretty evenly, whereas Doublelift was able to farm pretty well, and this means an Ocean Drake goes over to Team Liquid. So nice, but still a lot of catching up to do for Dig as baby.
Good cleanse. All right, Froggen is safe. You mentioned the specific gold on Doublelift. He's 500 over Jensen, and Jensen has 3 kills. That is turret gold at work for you right there. So MF definitely coming online. A lot of cash in her. 1,400 gold right now is enough for Berserker's Greaves, then almost Warhammer. So probably he's going to wait till he can finish that off. And then, actually, just pickaxe is going towards IE next item. And now Jensen going to take a bit of a slow. Decent damage out from Froggen. He'll live through this, but pretty good trade.
I mean, Froggen's doing Victor things this game.
He is.
It's just this weird mismatch of the way the game is playing out, where Huni and Grig are flying around trying to fight all the time, and Froggen's like, hey guys, I'm Victor, let me wave clear and farm. And then team fight late. Yeah.
And his mistakes have definitely cost Dignitas there. I can't fault them for the Drake fight. I think that was fairly smart. Like, okay, they ended up going down a kill, but that's okay. They got first blood gold. They got a Drake out of it. Seems all right. It's the top side that really went badly for them.
Yeah.
On, I think, what was the back half of a Herald play or something like that.
Yeah, we've seen a few teams try different answers to Set, because obviously Set was the first Soul laner locked in. You could surmise that it was going top. It's basically only TSM who has flexed it into the jungle position so far this year. So we've seen Cassios in Academy. We saw Vladimir yesterday. We've seen some Kale. Pantheon seems like one of the worst so far.
I agree.
Because you're not winning any of your all-ins, because it's Set.
Yep.
And
you're not poking him out.
You're not outscaling and you're not outranging. So
you're trying
the more I think about it, the worse it becomes.
Yeah. So here's my opinion on why it could be good. Yeah. I assume Dignitas and their players and analysts have brains. Is that it's meant to just shove then roam. It's meant to be like, hey,
sure,
I'm just gonna leave and I'm gonna join this gank with this Jarvan, and we're just gonna go kill Zoe constantly. We're all just gonna chain gank Froggen, and it's gonna be great. Unfortunately, that did not happen. But I can see like that being the logic, right?
Sure.
Well, we're just gonna win around ult cooldowns.
Yeah. We're just going to go alt bot. We're going to go fight it mid.
Yeah.
I mean, there is also a reason that Pantheon was 100% permabanned at the World Championship in 2019.
Yeah.
It's been nerfed since then, but the early game flexibility and proactivity can be very good, but oh my goodness, is Huni behind in this game.
He's
really the same level as Core JJ.
Ouch. Yeah, same as his support as well. 8's down there. 2. Okay, he just got to 9.
Okay.
He's only 2 behind Impact, but that is a lot of levels at 15 minutes in the game. As the top lane is now under fire as well. They won't quite dive this. He was nearly stunned out. Q's a few minions down, but his turret is on its last little legs.
Jensen has to be a little careful mid because it is 1v3 as Impact is off pushing away. Maybe Dig is looking to force something.
And ultimately, nothing really picked up.
Weirdly enough, Freak, Pantheon's a pretty good support.
Great.
He has good gank assist, and the utility of 3 seconds of directional invulnerability makes it so you don't necessarily need high income to be able to buy space in team fights.
Right.
So not a bad like solo queue pick. I don't know if we'll end up seeing it in pro. Huni will need to try and find effectiveness with a low income Pantheon in this game.
Yeah, it's a shame that he has all those attack damage ratios where you really want money to be a damage.
Yeah, true.
I feel like I see your point. I'm going to posit that I'd rather have an Alistar than a autofilled Pantheon support. Because let's be real, I feel like if you want to win, like maybe I'm wrong, right? And he's actually like a 70% winning support and everyone should play him all the time. But I feel like if you're filling the role of a tank and Alistar exists, play Alistar.
Can Alistar ult from bot to mid?
He can ult and then walk to mid. It's not good. I see your point. I do see your point. There is stuff there. Very rarely have I seen a lot of these supports actually transition and do well.
Yeah.
TF support, Irelia support we saw in the LCK once.
Okay.
Just ends up not quite.
Panth is definitely better than both of those.
Okay, that's good. All right. Well, I'll take it back for now. Nice one!
Woo! There's the Broxah Lee Sin. That's Sejuani can't do that.
No, she can't. That was awesome. Broxah single-handedly takes down a champion. That's going to be mid lane crack wide open for TL.
He also had the Rift Herald, right? So he did the control ward jump.
Yeah.
Then he had to place this, and they're taking 2.
They're getting 2 for sure, and ooh, they almost found some more kills. The Drowsy, it's only a minion. You can see Team Liquid completely taking over. Almost a 4,000 gold lead. Actually more than. 18 minutes in, this is an absolutely massive lead. Maybe their single highest of the season so far. This is the Liquid that people expected when they came into the year.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the FlyQuest game had a higher goal difference because their Rift Herald play went extremely well there, but
that's true. There
haven't been that many good early games by TL Freak. I think a lot of this one does come down to like winning the team fights when they happen. We might end up seeing more here as they're going for mid priority while Infernal Drake is up. It's kind of hard for actually TL to force things unless Broxah makes another one of those kicks. A lot of it is like waiting to see if Grig and Huni ult in. So what we may end up seeing in this game, Freak, unless Huni and Grig really feel like they have to fight, is 10 more minutes of Drakes.
Yeah.
Because that's the timer for TL to get Infernal.
But chat, this is Huni and Grig. Of course they feel like they have to fight.
They might.
So we may see it happen all the same. Here comes an attempt. Sleep is there, but with the barrier in the way, Jensen can't get in range. There is the Infernal grabbed up. 10 minutes. Mark your calendars. 19 into the game. At 29 and a couple of seconds, Team Liquid can have the Infernal Soul. We'll see if it takes that long. We'll see how the game plays out.
Liquid can keep moving across the map, right? Like they're denying vision in the jungle, they're stealing blue, they're pressuring top lane turrets, so they're gonna try and get the outers down so that they can have 6 turrets down by the time these Drakes, but my gut is telling me that unless Dig try and engage, we're probably not seeing many more kills until the next 2 Infernal.
Very likely. I know your point about waiting to see if it's going to be Grig or Huni to start it, and maybe it will be at some point, and we'll see how close the farm gets. We'll also kind of mark the calendar and say, okay, look, it's a 5,000 gold difference. So if there isn't action, is TL growing the lead by catching more waves or knocking down more turrets or, you know, poaching camps from the jungle? That's one other thing we'll track, but that's going to be kind of our inflection point right now as we crest 20 minutes into the game. Does it go bigger or smaller than 5,000 gold as we move towards Baron spawning and that 3rd and 4th Infernal Drake?
Yep, make sure you also tune into Monday Night League Lounge or Bud Light League Lounge after Monday Night League tonight.
Twitch.tv/Bud Light.
There you go.
There you go. I too can read chat. We have proven that we are both literate.
Also wanted to point out the nice synced recall by TL right there. Everyone made sure to pick up control wards. I would say that the 2 control wards on everyone would have been the coach's call, but the player's call said, you know, I'm just going to make sure I have at least one.
And I want to point out,
the rest of my gold.
Most of them have like 500 gold in inventory.
Yep, they definitely could have done it.
Yeah. So unless they like sneakily already put one down and like showing off with their ability to ward and buy wards, I feel like they're holding them, you know?
I mean, I've definitely been guilty of that in games that I'm winning by a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like 6K up and I go back to base and I say, do I really need to have that extra control ward or can I save up for my Leandries?
Yeah.
And usually it's the Leandries.
I understand. You play a Mumu, I get it.
Yeah. Double Lift is working on the Hex Drinker, so I think.
Could be QSS.
Yeah, it might be just QSS.
Don't hit it for Varus, right? It's one of the few ways you die is Pantheon W's you or Varus ults you, and you're like, okay, I have a Barometer on the top 10.
Yeah, it's definitely QSS.
Seems likely.
TL trying to get that vision, and this could be the fight.
Huni wanted to fight, he finds Core JJ, gets a stun, gets some damage, ult comes off, shield comes down as well, bullet time, pushes back Johnson, and his double 2 supports, hits support.
Boy.
There's the slam, Huni. Stop blocks by a couple of seconds, but impact is there. Move over! And the kick as well. Might find some more kills. Johnson's dead now as well. It's a 2 for 0. Make it a third, a double kill for Double Lift as now Grig is running away. And you know what? It took about 2 minutes for who to decide, I want to fight.
Yeah.
And it went really badly.
Hey, the other team's taking control of our jungle. We got to stop them, boys. I mean, ultimately, TL was going to pressure Baron with all their control wards, but now they just kind of get the Baron because that fight was not going to work. They saw the slight split up opportunity, but they really just did not have the item thresholds. Jensen zoning out Grig now as the rest of the team take Baron.
I mean, they focused the stone plate drop. Of all partners to pick, it is, I think, literally the worst possible one. Nice pickup for Jensen. Now, I will say that Team Liquid did leave the Dignitas jungle. They pushed out of the jungle and said, hey, go take Baron instead. So, you know, it gave time to farm chickens, maybe some Krugs. So, silver lining for Dignitas, I think.
Yeah. They're now down 8,000 gold. It looks like Team Liquid is having one of their better games. So this is more, as you mentioned earlier, the type of Team Liquid we expected to see. Dig is also having a fairly rough game because you can see here, like, Huni was hoping to get on double lift, wasn't in range. Core JJ was the target that presented itself, but they ended up burning so many cooldowns there, and then very good timing by Impact, knowing that the Eon Pantheon was down and that he would be unable to escape once they go there. The second great kick of the game by Broxa right there as well to get the kill onto Johnson. And then at that point, there is just no damage left on Dig, and they can chase down the rest of the kills.
The calls, okay, don't chase, don't dive their inhibitors. Just go ahead and take down the Baron. They get that one, no problem. The gold lead is now almost 8,000. It took us 3 minutes to get to this point. Dignitas opted into a fight. Maybe their hand was forced because Baron is being set up. But regardless, a 3 for 0 plus Baron means Team Liquid is even farther and farther and farther ahead. Double Lift and Froggen, MVPs have damaged that fight. Sadly for Johnson, couldn't do a whole lot after being kicked back by Broxa.
Jensen working on the one-shot build. He's got the Medjais and the Lichbane potentially on the way. Having a very potent Zoe game.
Yeah.
Interesting here how they are pushed top. Trying to maximize this Baron power play with a minute 30 left because Infernal is up, so they are delaying their potential Infernal Soul. Maybe looking to win here if they can get the right type of pick.
Sleep comes in. Huni, though, going to tank the paddle start. Nicely done on that side, at least. But the siege can continue pretty easily as mid lane is now reinforced. Broxa shows up. They're not going to send too many of TL there as Dignitas were already in there to knock down the wave. As you mentioned, Infernal's alive. We'll see when TL wants to go for that one.
Yeah, a lot of times teams will like sneak one person down to Infernal, so it seems like you're still threatening with enough teams and you're kind of chipping the turrets, but it looks like TL is feeling fairly confident. They're having a hard time syncing these waves to hit at the same time. Like there's no cannon up top lane while the cannon hits mid. I'm not getting a huge amount of damage down.
Mid down to half HP. TL definitely playing it very slowly, very pokey here. They do miss 3 flash from the squad. Only Jensen and Core can get away from a hard engage. That is what Dignitas wants to do here. As Core takes some damage, but he's still going to stay reasonably safe. Grig at half health, though, just tanks a Battlestar.
Yeah, it looks like they just want to break this turret and then maybe turn for Inferno.
This turret's definitely gone. That was going to knock down. Inhibitor's going to be pretty much a freebie then at that point. Team Liquid still staying to knock down some minions. Huni gets some damage on impact, but again, that set is very tanky and walks away safely. Mid and Hig is cracked. Brox has shepherded in the bottom lane. That's going to be coming in pretty soon here as well, as TL simply push forward, knock down minions, and try to push back Dignitas. Still, the Baron is timed out, and now that it's gone, looks like they've maximized their push efforts and have gone to the Drake.
Yeah, so reasonably effective Baron power play. The 5,000 gold we talked about 6 minutes ago has now grown to 9. So a pretty effective game from TL so far. There's no need to close out really quickly. There's definitely the off factor when a team can take a 9,000 gold lead or a Baron to end, but as long as they're stacking up towards an eventual Dragon Soul, and when you look at these team compositions, like the set MF Zoe scale well enough against the Varus Victor. The fear would be a really late game Victor, just kind of like one-hitting the Lee Sin every time he pops in, but for now, Team Liquid doesn't have a need to rush. Yeah,
and I think it's interesting. I kind of want to spend a couple seconds thinking about the Team Liquid shot calling there, because it's, okay, we're not playing aggressively. Like, don't give them the chance at a pick into taking a Drake. We're going to maximize our Baron time with sieging. Only once Baron is gone, then we'll go back to Drake. Sure, the Drake kill was delayed by about a minute and a half. That's not a game-breaking issue. As you mentioned, the scaling difference is not very large. You can wait a minute and a half for a Baron, for a Soul, right? Not a huge difference. But hey, let's make sure we get 1 or 2 extra waves of siege with Baron. Yeah, that seems worthwhile.
Yeah, because to be fair, like Team Liquid doesn't have good initiation with the composition. So them actually breaking the base is pretty difficult from a setup position. So you need those Baron siege minis to do everything they can, because they only last for so long. So I don't hate what TL did there.
It's one of the nice things, or I guess I could say interesting things, you're allowed to have your own take, about 2020 League of Legends, where there's actually a lot of power in neutral objectives, right? It's less and less of the game is about direct sieging with champion power, and it can be, well, it's Baron setup, or it's 20 minutes of Drake control, and maybe then the Elder afterwards if it needs to happen, but yeah, they can control the middle of the map and keep their opponents at bay, and that way it can work as well. Huni comes in for a stun and a core. JJ doesn't get a whole lot done. Now Grig wants in, finds a knockup, but again, it's on the tank support. They accomplish nothing and lose half their health bars. Bullet time comes down.
Yep. Did clear the wave though, so they will probably be able to get their health back before deciding to contest this next one or not. They might be ulting in here. Huni's thinking about it. They're going.
Is in the bottom lane. This is now the go moment. Can it work now for Dignitas? The Cataclysm in the back line. Big damage over the top. Jensen jumps out. It's a 1 kill, but now traded back. Huni's going to be dropping probably as well, as Dignitas now only have 3 versus 4. Kiting away as best they can. Getting a bit of damage down as the bottom turret is broken here as well.
1 for 2. The divers do die, but it has repelled the TL push, and the turret's alive. The extra benefit is they took 10 stacks off of Jensen's Soul Stealer.
Yeah.
They got that Zoe down, and he had a pretty sizable bounty, so not the worst. The problem, though, is Baron is up, and the enemy jungler is down. So TL can just do it.
Yeah. In terms of raw gold value, I think Dignitas with a shutdown there as well arguably won the fight in gold, but the game is not just gold, it's also map positioning, champions alive, and as you mentioned, Baron is on the table. Aphromu would need a miracle to steal. I don't think it's going to happen. Q's going to land, get away from now. Baron goes over yet again to Team Liquid.
Second Baron of the game, only 1 inhibitor turret remaining, and 2 minutes left for Infernal. Watching this one more time, you could see Dig coordinating with the Huni off the base, and it's timed really well, actually. Jensen had just shifted in with his R, so he's doing everything he can to escape, and they are able to burst him down, right? With the Victor following up on top of Pantheon and Jarvan. But they're also in the situation where they're diving past a set. So once you push that far, no one else can pass the set line that Impact is holding.
1200 damage, plenty done there. And hey, good damage by Jensen with the poke before that point. But yeah, pretty spread out damage fight this time for Dignitas. Huni did get the shutdown gold. 1,000 went to him. Sadly for Froggen, only assists on the board. I think that 1,000 would have been pretty nice. It would have meant the first half of the death cap, which would have been pretty valuable. Another poke there. Froggen's at half HP. If that Q landed, Broxa kills him probably. Well, if Tom catches there, so maybe not. But now Grig has to walk backwards as mid is under fire. Or sorry, top is under fire as well, as that turret is cracked. Top and Hib's going to fall here as well. The Baron buff in full use. and we're only 30 minutes into the game, and TL basically has ended it already.
And I think we're going to see a final fight here, because they're going to try and roach it over to some third and hit where they don't have minions. And the only way Dig can stop them is by actually fighting, and Huni's sitting on the fountain, so watch for that Pantheon ultimate. We might see the final fight.
They know it's flashless MF, flashless Zoe. It's got to be the target. Grig marked by Impact. Here comes Pantheon. Decent damage. Who can they find? There's a stun on a 1, but he gets right away, and he's going to stay alive. They're still going to go for it. They can. Impact could be a big threat and get some damage across. Grig forced out, never even able to ulti, and Huni now drops as well. Good peel for Team Liquid. They win the fight. They'll claim the bottom inhibitor, and they'll reclaim mid.
Core JJ peeled double lift well, but Impact actually won that fight. He held off the entire Dignitas backline. Has set Sterix Gage, Gargoyle Stoneplate, just bought the maximum amount of time as the third inhibitor is broken, and this could be the final push as the super minions stack up.
They find the potential sleep. Will there be follow through? Tomkins denies that one, but the turret is gone, and only 1 is left. 5v4, Grig tries yet again for ultimate EQ, but Broxa finds that kill, his first of the game, and now the fight continues, 5 versus 3. Turrets are gone, the flash in for Core JJ, wants to have another kill. There's the pullback for Impact, and he's got himself yet another kill there. 5-0-7 on the set. As now Dignitas are forced to run. The victor will be asleep, takes a big chunk of damage. The Nexus falls, and Team Liquid improves to 4 wins.
And there's a big sigh of relief